everyone, this is Stephanie Pettis in the Roland Studio, and I'm coming at you today from my truck. And today we're going to be preparing for a 3D wall hanging. At least that's what I think I'm going for at this point. So I picked up some paper mache pieces from Michael's, I think it was. I just got a few of these little boxes, and then I also have some little farmer's market crate type things that I'm going to be doing. What I plan to do in this session is prepare to do some crackling, and I'm going to do it on various items like these plaques right here. I plan to do some sort of wood placking, but I'm going to do a crackle finish on those various items. So there's going to be 2 videos, and there might be even 3. It depends on what it takes for me to get through these videos. I'm going to time lapse most of it because a lot of it's repetitive, so I will intervene when I think it's time. The way we're going to start this project out is using acrylic gesso. This is white acrylic gesso that I picked up from Walmart. There's also clear and black, but we're using white. I'm also using this little cheapy brush to do some painting and maybe some dry brushing. I'm not real sure just yet. And then I'm also going to be using this crackle medium from Folk Art. And I used this stuff once before and on a wine bottle, and it fared well for me. I also had picked up a fan a few months ago for my truck for various projects, and I haven't used it yet, but this will give me the opportunity to use it for the first time. It's just a little tiny fan. It's so cute. It actually uses a USB cord for power, so it's pretty cool. Here I'm using the gesso. I just poured some of it out into my recycled lid here, my recycled fruit lid. And I use it over and over again. As you can see, it's been painted with, gessoed, glued, you name it. I'm surprised it still exists. But I'm going to gesso all of my pieces first. And the reason we gesso particularly anything that you're going to paint is because most surfaces are porous. This is a paper mache chipboard style of cardboard little hat box, round little box. And I don't know if you call it a box, but you know, it's round. And so I'm gonna do the gesso on here to allow the paint to stick to it instead of soaking through the paper mache. It's a good thing to practice to put gesso on any surface that you're going to paint that may be porous. So we're just going to go through a few of these, and then the next step will be to add the crackle. Well, no, excuse me. The next step would be to add your base coat, and then your crackle, and then your wash. So here we go. Okay, so here's my little wooden farmer's market box, and right now I'm putting my gesso in for the base coat, and I ended up losing some footage here, so it jumps right from base coat to final coating. So basically what's happening here is I'm taking several pieces that I plan to paint, and I gessoed them all at the same time. I probably still have a couple others I need to do, but I'm using some cheapy Walmart paint there. The dark pink one is the Walmart folk art. I don't even know what it is. It might not be folk art, but it's the I think it's even that apple barrel, whatever, 50 cents, 98 cents at Walmart, and that's my base coat. And then you'll see that I actually skipped all the way through it because I lost footage, but we've got the base coat, and then we've got the gesso, the base coat, and the crackle, and then there's the top coat of acrylic, because everything has to have an acrylic coat over it in order for it to crackle. So you do a gesso, you do your base coat color, you do a crackle finish on it, or the crackle medium on it, and then you put the acrylic back on top, whatever the acrylic of your choice. And you can also use Elmer's glue on this, but you're going to have to need a fan for the Elmer's glue. Now, the crackle crackles on its own. Well, it did with me on my wine bottle, but I found that using the little fan with my crackling on this worked out beautifully. And the other thing that kind of happened here, which kind of blew me away, was the fact that the blue paint and the green paint of my base coats of the other pieces did fine, except that gave the crackle finish wasn't so much of a crackle as it was a distressed ambiance, if you will. So I left the blue one as is. You can see it looks quite distressed versus crackle, which is cool too, because it gave it a different look. But I was actually going for the crackle, and I did use the little fan to dry it. Now right here you'll get to see the whole thing. I'm doing my base coat in green, and then I will be putting the crackle medium over it. You'll see the clear here. There's the crackle. And then once I put that on, I recommend letting it dry in between coats. I myself did not, so I think that might be part of the reason it did the distressed look versus the crackle look. So make sure that you dry at least 30 minutes in between. And I painted this green plaque fairly heavy, so you know it did the distress thing, which again isn't bad. I like the distress thing, but I was going for crackle. So right now you see me putting the final coat of a celery colored Waverly acrylic. That's what the brand I used for this wash over it. And I call it a wash, but it's really just a top coat. And it's an acrylic top coat, and I've got the fan blowing on it. And you can see where it's doing a distressed finish instead of the crackle. And I really wanted the crackle on this, so I actually went back after that distress dried. After the top coat dried, I actually went back and threw some more crackle medium over top of it, and one more time with the Waverly's paint, acrylic paint, and it crackled it up. Now, this one that you're seeing right here, this is one that I did off the camera, and it's two different colors. It's a gray underneath and a cream on top, and I love the crackle finish that it gave. Now you can see my green. You can see that it changed from a minute ago. A minute ago it had a more distressed look. Well, that's because I came back and put the crackle medium back over it, and then I let it dry, and then I added the acrylic Waverly's paint, and I only let it dry for about 30 minutes. It wasn't like 100% dry either, but it did the crackle finish that I was looking for. And the Waverly acrylic on acrylic did really well versus the Walmart and the versus the, I think it's the apple barrel. Let's just say the dollar paint versus the $2 paint, $3 paint, whatever it was. Might have been $5, I don't remember. But anyways, the Waverly on top of Waverly for bottom base coat and top coat worked really well for the crackle on these wood pieces. It worked pretty good on this Pink Farmer's box for the cheaper brand of paint. It worked for me on this one. There you can see the crackle fairly well, and I like that. That's the look I was going for. And sorry about all my artsy fingers. It was quite a mess in here. Well, it's always a mess in here. But yeah, there you go. So that's the finish I was looking for. That side didn't crackle as much. I don't know why, but that's what I was looking for. Next, we'll be going into my little paper mache boxes, or mini hat boxes, if you will. Trinket boxes. I'll call it a trinket box, because that's really what it is. And you will see once again doing the crackle finish, and it's going to be in time lapse. There's that distressed look. Again, I don't mind the distressed look, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. But I left that one alone because I still thought it was pretty cool. So enjoy the music. And by the way, the opening music to this video was A Texas Mile, and I'm not sure in which order I've put it in now, but I will list the songs at the end of the video. And they are songs that I came up with through my Music Maker Jam app, and so I hope you like it and enjoy the music. I'll not pop in again until closer to the end. Let yourself